I believe everyone has a story to tell. And I believe everyone deserves a little pampering. Welcome to Mannies with Grannies. I'm your host, Tiffany Marino. Join me while I sit down with a woman over 70 and get to know her while giving her a manicure. Welcome to this episode of Mannies with Grannies. Today, I am at Tanglewood Manor, and I'm here with the lovely Helen. Helen, it's so nice to meet you today.
Well, it's nice to meet you, too.
Thanks so much for coming here and talking with me.
Thank you.
So we can take your hands out of here to start. We'll dry them off. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good.
How long have you lived here at Tanglewood?
Well, it's only been about 4 months, maybe.
Okay, new resident.
Haven't been here long.
How did you end up moving here?
I was a widow. I lived on my own. I have 4 children, but they all are married. They're all working people. They have families. And they just didn't have the time for everything, including me. So we decided this was a good idea.
How do you like it so far?
It's okay if you can't be where you want to be.
I'm very sorry to hear about your husband's passing.
Thank you.
How long ago did that happen?
I'd say 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you and your husband married?
51 years?
That sounds like a long time to me. Did that feel like a long time?
No.
What was your husband's name?
Douglas.
How do you and Douglas meet?
You're not going to believe this story, but you're going to love it. I was his babysitter because he was married before. And they were breaking up, and I happened to be in the middle. And here I am.
And then there were 51 years of marriage after that.
Yeah.
So you were the babysitter.
I was the babysitter.
And then you reconnected years later?
No, we never reconnected.
Okay.
We always knew each other. I knew his ex-wife.
Okay.
It wasn't anything bad. It was all good.
Was that your first marriage?
Yes.
What was your wedding day like?
My wedding day. We didn't have a big wedding because he was married before. There was a few problems. But it was a wonderful day. We had a family wedding reception. We didn't do anything big and fancy.
How long into your marriage did you have kids?
First year,
Do you remember what it felt like when you found out you were pregnant?
I was scared to death. But it was good. It was all good.
Do you remember telling your parents you were pregnant for the first time?
My mother,
What was her reaction?
she liked him, so. And I was older. I wasn't a young kid. So it was pretty well acceptable.
What was it like living at home with all the kids and everyone together?
Very hectic.
Did you go on family vacations together?
No, we couldn't afford it.
Did you work while you were raising kids?
Yes,
What did you do?
I was a housekeeper at a place like this.
So kind of come full circle at this point.
Yes.
Did your husband work?
Oh, yes.
What did he do?
He worked for the highway department. He was out plowing when it snowed on Christmas, and I was home with the kids.
Did you grow up around here?
I was born in Kane, Pennsylvania, actually. Graduated from Southwestern High School. So did my husband. My daughter ended up to be a teacher there who just retired. My son-in-law was on the school board. He was president of the school board.
Oh.
You know, those things happened. And I have a son who works for Overhead Door of Jamestown.
What were you like as a teenager?
Oh, geez. Mean.
Why do you say that?
Because I was overweight.
Okay.
And I was abused by a lot of kids growing up.
Okay.
And I thought I'm going to get them. You know how you got that in your head? I'm being very honest about this. It was a stupid thing to do at the time. But you know, you want to latch back. It all turned out well.
It's interesting that you can reflect on that time like this now.
It's not a bad time, but it wasn't a bad time that I resent or hate the people. It was a good time, and I look back on it, I think it's just one of those things that you go through.
Do you think that that experience shaped the rest of your life?
Yes, very much. I don't take much from people. You know, I just don't take much.
How did that work out in your marriage?
Well, my husband kind of suffered because I didn't take much, but it worked out.
Did you enjoy being a mother?
Yes, I did.
What was your favorite part of motherhood?
You know, it's going to sound funny to you, but cleaning your house and sitting back and looking at it all done by you with this big family. And it looked so nice. I was proud of that, you know?
Sounds like you were a natural homemaker.
Yeah, I was. My mother was too.
What was your mother like?
She was Italian, very serious Catholic woman, raised me well. It's funny, but my father used to go out and like to have a few beers. She'd get mad, but it wasn't ever anything serious. But we just grew up that way, like an old Italian family with a regular family. I don't know, but it was good.
What was your dad like?
Oh, he was tough. He'd like to go out and have a few beers on Saturday and come home staggering to the front door. You know what he'd do? He'd open the front door and throw his head in. That's what they did years ago. But it all worked out.
Is there anything you miss from your childhood?
No. I had a good childhood. I can say I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of my kids. And everything worked out well. And married to a divorced man wasn't the worst thing in the world. And it does work out if you work at it. And you can combine children. It's hard, but you can do it.
How were you able to blend your families?
They live somewhere else, not too far away. We lived here. But my children are close with my stepchildren. We visit each other.
How did you show your kids that you loved them?
I don't know. I guess I was a tough mom. I was a tough mom.
Do you think that benefited your kids?
Yes.
How so?
Well, I think they raised their kids well. They did good with the kids.
How does it feel to be a grandmother?
Oh, I love being a grandma.
Would you say you're a tough grandmom?
Yeah, you ask them. One just came to see me here the other day, and we were talking about that.
You were talking about being a tough grandmom?
Yeah, the way I was with them when they were younger. And I used to have them babysit and different things,
Were you a disciplinarian? Or did you have high expectations?
I was a disciplinarian. And in my mind, I didn't tell them, but I was hoping they'd all do very well. And I just kind of knew the way they were raised, they would. Everybody has their little quirks, which they did, but it all worked out well.
What's a piece of advice that someone's given you that has stuck with you?
Being honest and truthful about things. Don't sneak around. Be truthful.
Why do you think that's important?
Because too many people are doing it today. The world's a mess. That feels very good.
Oh, good. Looking back over your life, do you have a favorite age?
No. We got to live for every one of them.
What do you want young people to know about getting older?
That you will survive. And it's nothing to worry about.
What's your age?
My age is 77.
How does it feel to be 77?
Oh, it feels like it did when I was 55. Just a number. My health isn't as great, but it's part of life. I can be a little ornery. I can be.
Why do you say that?
Because I like to be. Everybody likes to be. They like their little quirks,
Is there anything you're learning or working on right now?
Yeah, I think I worry about how much longer I'm going to live and have to stay in a place like this. It's not going to go away. So it's something I have to deal with and learn how to accept all the little quirks.
How are you working through that?
Oh, some of the people kill me. Some of the people.
I love these rings that you have
thank
on.
You
they're
very much.
They're so beautiful. Do you have a story behind any of them?
No, there's no story.
No, none of them are a wedding ring or anything given to you by anyone. Tell me about them.
My wedding rings, my engagement
These
ring.
over here.
This was my mother's, and it got passed down to me.
That's nice.
And this was my mother's ring at the time. There's no story. They're just something I like.
You like to wear jewelry?
Yes. My mother did too. She was loaded with it. As my father would say, you'd think she was a rich bitch.
Do you think your parents had a happy marriage?
Yeah, they had their quirks too, but everybody does.
Did you look to their marriage as an example for you and your own?
No, not at all. Everybody has their own ways.
So you said you got married later in life. How old were you when you got married?
Oh, I was 21.
Oh, that's
was
not
old.
later in life.
It was old back then.
21.
Yeah, everybody else was getting married as a teenager. I was 21.
How old was Douglas?
Douglas was 38. Is that right? that come out right?
He was 38
Yeah.
when you were 21?
Yeah.
Then how were you babysitting him?
I was babysitting his kids when they were
Oh, you were
younger.
babysitting his
Yes,
children.
by his first
I thought
wife.
you were Douglas's babysitter.
No.
Oh, he hired you.
Oh, he hired me, honey. He paid me well.
Oh, this changes
Yes.
the whole story now.
Yes. I was the babysitter to him and his ex-wife.
For his children.
I was the head honcho.
I got you now. Did his kids have any problem with that?
No, not really.
They already liked you and knew you.
And him and his wife, ex-wife, and I knew each other. Things were different back then.
What year did you guys get married?
1967.
What was living through the 70s like?
Pretty much like it is today, to tell you the truth. I don't see a whole lot of difference, except for the differences in the world and the things we have to do now we didn't have to do then. I didn't have to be as concerned with my children as people do today. We didn't have to worry about drugs, all that stuff. It was much easier.
Do you have advice for parents today?
Yes. Stop trying to be who you are not and be the person you are with your family.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, a lot of people out there want to put on airs. Kids want to put on airs for their kids. Parents want to put on airs for other people. It's all stupidity. Be who you are and teach your kids to be the best they can be and accept them for whatever. If you have problems, which you're going to have, do the best you can.
Do you have any stories about yourself that you like to tell?
No, I wasn't one of those that had stories about me. I watched other people have stories. You know how you call your best friend on the phone and say, oh, God, I can't wait till we get to school if I got a story to tell you. You know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So that was never you. You were more the person that listened?
Yeah, listened, yes. And I was always the go-to person, you know?
How did that feel?
Okay. I guess it made me feel good.
Do you remember how you guys got engaged?
Douglas and I were never formally engaged. We went together for a long time. We knew we were going to get married. And at the time, he couldn't afford to pay support and buy me a nice engagement ring and all the good stuff you want, you know? So we just kind of went day by day, and it all worked out. We didn't have any expectations.
What color polish would you like to have?
Now, look at me and tell me what you would recommend.
Based on this color shirt, I like this color for you. Mm-hmm. But that's very bright, and I don't know if you're a bright type of person.
I can be.
This is a very pretty color.
I would like that pink. I like the pink.
This one here?
No.
This here?
No.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Yes. This
Don't
is one
you
of
think
my
it is
favorites.
me?
Yes.
No.
It's really similar to the one I picked the
Yeah.
first one. Nice and bright. I love it. Did you ever live in another area?
No. Always lived around here. I had family here years ago. My uncle at one time was the mayor of Lakewood. My cousin was the chief of police in Lakewood. You know, grew up with all that kind of stuff. We had to be careful what we did because somebody might go tell our parents because our cousin was the chief of police.
What's something that not many people know about you?
I'm a really hard-assed person. Did I get that right?
Sounds like you got it
but
right.
But really, I am not as hard as everybody thinks I am.
Why do you think that is?
That they think that way or I think that way?
Either way.
Well, I don't know. It just said, oh, God, don't tell Helen, you know, she'll have a fit. Well, you can tell me I might have a fit, but it's going to be okay.
Looking back over your life, is there anything you wish you did differently?
I guess maybe my education a little more. Took more time for it. I didn't put everything else first, but it turned out well.
What are some of your hobbies?
I never had a hobby. Taking care of my home, raising my children. I love to work outside with flowers. Those are the things I enjoyed.
What do you do now to pass the time?
Well, I kind of lost a lot of things I had. I don't care to watch TV like I used to. I used to like to read, and I've gone down in that. I think it's because of my eyes. When you get older, everybody likes to gossip. You know how that goes. Got to gossip in life.
What do you think is the best part of getting older?
I think you're more secure. Maybe you don't worry about things as much. They don't seem as big as they did when you were younger.
What's the worst part of getting older?
Hoping you'll stay healthy, Then nobody has to take care of you. You'll have enough money for your bills.
I'm almost 40 years old. Do you have any advice for me?
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
10 years?
Yes.
Children?
No kids, and we're not going to have kids.
May I ask why?
We decided not to.
Well, it's not a bad decision. Some people out there, I would tell them, if that's not your choice, don't do it because you're supposed to or people think you should. Do what you need to do because it's the wrong reason.
Not many people have that reaction to me, but I really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
What's the difference between being a parent and a grandparent?
You let them get away with more. It's okay now. That wasn't okay then.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't really tell you. They're not my kids. I can send them home.
You like to watch TV?
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite shows?
I like the movies. I liked all the comedies. Goofies. That's what I liked. My husband and I both did. We'd sit there and laugh and laugh and laugh. It was good for us.
What do you think's the hardest part of marriage?
Staying together all those years and try to come to a compromise that works out for both of you.
Do you think there's a secret to staying married for over 50 years?
You got to really love each other. You got to work at it.
What does that look like?
Well, there's a lot of things that sometimes you have to agree on that you really don't want to. And compromise is just the right thing to do.
Do you think you were good at compromising?
I would say I sure was in a lot of things.
Do you have any goals for the rest of your life?
No, I'm 77. I'm in assisted living. My children are all raised. My grandchildren are pretty much all raised. And you just live for the time you got left, I guess, and hope it works out.
What are your kids' names?
Kimberly, Michael, and Tara Lynn are the twins, and Maria.
How did you pick out their names?
My husband and I just kind of picked them out together. He liked the name Maria Elena, and that's Maria's name. And we did that for him. Kimberly, I picked out. I had that since I was a teenager. I wanted to name a little girl Kimberly. And Michael had to be Michael because everybody in the families had Michael. So we had Michael too.
Were you named after anyone?
My mother, her name was Helen. Her name was Helen Carmina at the time, which you never heard of. It was an old-fashioned name. Mine was Helen Louise. And they called me Dolly because they said I looked like a doll when I was born.
Would you like a nail sticker?
I like flowers.
Okay, we'll pick out one of these for you.
It's really clever the way you do that.
Yeah, they're fun. Now we'll just put a little top coat on. Tell me again, what did you say you did for work?
I was a housekeeper.
Oh, yeah, you were a housekeeper at a place like this. That's right.
Yes, I was.
How long did you do that?
20-some years.
Did you enjoy it?
Not the work so much as I got older, but the people I did. It's like another family.
How does it feel now being in a place like this after working 20-some years?
We always said we'd never do this. And here we are, doing the same damn thing we did. Said we'd never do it. It's amazing in life what you end up doing.
When you think back to when you were a young woman before you were married and you were thinking about the life ahead of you, do you think it panned out like you thought it would?
Well, you know, the kids have the dreams about, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have a beautiful brand new home. We're going to have a new car. We're going to travel. We're going to vacation. We're going to do it all. And you don't do part of it because it doesn't work out that way. You have to be more realistic, I think.
Does your family come to visit?
They don't live far from here. Everybody lives close by. They're busy. I have a daughter that usually comes every day. She either brings me something that I forgot to bring or stops at the store to get something for me. My son-in-law is very good to me. They always have been. They take me to doctor appointments because I never drove.
You never got a driver's license?
No, never.
Why not?
I guess because I was the one who was home with the kids and we had one car and he had to have that car to go back and forth to work. So it's something I never did.
Did you ever feel like you wanted to?
Yeah, there was days when I thought, boy, I'd love to get in a damn car and just go. But it's something I never did. And maybe I was kind of afraid, you know? I thought, I got a family here and 4 kids. I can't get myself in a car accident. It was a negative thing, but it's something to think about.
Well, we are at the end of our manicure now.
Well, it felt very good.
Yeah, it was so nice. It was nice talking to you, Helen.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Mannies with Grannies. I hope you enjoyed learning about someone else, and maybe even learned a little about yourself.